Police say scammers have figured out how to take over your phone number, giving them access to all kinds of things. They've arrested 10 people in Toronto in a scheme that has cost victims more than $1 million.
Imagine waking up to your phone exploding with bank alerts, only to discover $21,000 already drained from your account before your first coffee. That's exactly what happened to Jeff Drummond on an ordinary morning.
I've already withdrawn $21,000 from your account. Are you kidding me? That's half of my bank account.
While Jeff stood there confused, criminals had hijacked the one device tied to every digital account in his life. And Jeff isn't alone. In 2021 alone, Americans lost more than $68 million to SIM swap attacks, according to the FBI. And the scariest part? Most victims don't realize it's happening until their money is already gone. In this video, I'll guide you on exactly how they do it and how you can stop it cold. Don't skip, your account depends on this. Find the Silent Recon, how criminals collect the information to steal your number. Most people believe a SIM swap attack starts when a criminal walks into a phone store pretending to be you. In reality, the attack begins days, or sometimes weeks, earlier in a quiet phase security experts call Reconnaissance. Before criminals ever touch your phone number, they build a detailed profile of your identity using information that is already scattered across the internet. And the unsettling truth is that much of that information was never meant to be secret in the first place. The first layer comes from data broker websites, companies that legally collect and sell personal information. Sites like Spokeo, White Pages, and Been Verified often list your full name, past addresses, phone numbers, family members, and even age ranges. Criminals scrape these databases because they create a quick identity blueprint. In less than 10 minutes, someone can connect a phone number to a real person, a physical address, and relatives who may later be used in security questions. And once attackers have those pieces, the next step becomes dangerously easy. But data brokers are only the starting point. The real goldmine for SIM swap criminals is data breaches. Over the past decade, hundreds of major companies have leaked customer information after being hacked. Email addresses, passwords, phone numbers, and addresses end up circulating on underground forums where criminals trade them like digital currency. According to the Identity Theft Resource Center, 3,205 data breaches exposed billions of records in 2023, giving criminals unprecedented access to personal information. Here's where the attack becomes strategic. Criminals rarely rely on just one data source. Instead, they assemble identity kits, combining breached data with publicly available information to fill in the missing gaps. A leaked password might reveal your email account. A people search database might reveal your address. Social media might reveal your birthday. Piece by piece, attackers construct an identity profile strong enough to impersonate you convincingly. And that's where social media quietly becomes the attacker's most powerful reconnaissance tool. Think about the details you casually share online. Birthday posts, photos of new houses, posts announcing a new job, tagged locations, or even pictures of airline boarding passes. Individually, these details seem harmless. But when criminals are building a profile, every piece helps verify an identity. A birthday photo confirms a date of birth. A graduation post reveals a school that might appear in security questions. Even a pet's name can become valuable because many people use pets in password recovery questions. Real victims often describe the same shocking realization afterward. The attacker knew too much. They knew the victim's address. They knew their email. Sometimes they even knew the last 4 digits of a social security number obtained through breaches or shady data markets. To a phone carrier employee handling dozens of calls per hour, that level of detail can make the impersonation sound completely legitimate. And once criminals feel they have enough information, they move from research to execution. That next step is the most dangerous moment in the entire attack. So the moment your phone number stops belonging to you and starts belonging to them, the moment your phone number is stolen. Imagine this happening on an ordinary morning. You wake up, grab your phone, and check a few notifications. Maybe an email, maybe a bank alert, everything feels normal. Then suddenly your phone signal disappears. You assume it's a network glitch. You restart your phone. Still nothing. You try to make a call cannot be placed. You try sending a text, message failed. Within minutes, your confusion turns into anxiety, because what you don't know yet is that your phone number, the number tied to your bank accounts, email logins, and security alerts, no longer belongs to your phone. Somewhere across town, a criminal is now receiving every text message meant for you, and the attack is only just beginning. Now, this moment is called a port-out transfer, and it's the critical step that makes SIM swapping so dangerous. Here's what's happening behind the scenes while you stare at that no service message. The criminal has already contacted your mobile carrier and convinced them to move your phone number to a new SIM card. That SIM card is sitting inside the attacker's device. Once the carrier completes the transfer, your phone disconnects instantly. Your device didn't break, your signal didn't drop, your number was simply reassigned. And the terrifying part? This process can take less than 10 minutes. Most victims later discover the attacker never hacked their phone. They never installed spyware. Instead, they impersonated the victim using the information gathered during the reconnaissance phase. When the attacker contacts the carrier, they already know the victim's name, phone number, address, and sometimes even the last digits of a social security number. To a customer service agent trying to verify identity quickly, the attacker sounds exactly like the real account holder. Once the carrier processes the transfer, the attacker now controls the most powerful digital identity key you have, your phone number. And criminals want one thing from that number, your security codes. Think about how many of your accounts rely on your phone for verification. Banking apps send one-time login codes by text. Email providers send password reset links to your phone number. Investment apps send transaction confirmations. Crypto exchanges require text verification before withdrawals. The moment the attacker receives those texts instead of you, every account tied to your phone number becomes vulnerable. Security experts have warned about this weakness for years. In fact, the National Institute of Standards and Technology warned in 2017 that SMS-based authentication is vulnerable to interception and should not be relied on as a primary security method. But despite those warnings, many banks and financial services still rely heavily on text verification because it's convenient for customers. And convenience is exactly what attackers exploit. Now picture the situation from the victim's perspective again. Your phone still has no signal. You assume the carrier network is down. You might even drive somewhere else looking for service. Meanwhile, the attacker is already testing password resets across your accounts, Gmail, banking apps, payment platforms, crypto wallets. Each time they click "Forgot password," a verification code is sent straight to the phone number they now control. While you're troubleshooting your signal, the attacker is unlocking the doors to your digital life one by one. This is exactly what happened to Jeff Drummond. While his phone sat silent with no signal, the criminal who had taken his number began accessing his accounts. By the time Jeff reached a landline and called his bank, the damage was already done. $21,000 had been withdrawn from his account. And here's the chilling reality. The moment your phone loses signal during a SIM swap attack, the clock has already started ticking. Every minute that passes gives criminals more time to break into the accounts that control your money, and your banks simply let them. See how the security illusion, why banks trust a criminal the moment they control your phone. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear about online security. The moment a criminal controls your phone number, many financial systems automatically assume that the criminal is you. Imagine logging into your bank account from a new device. The bank detects something unusual and asks for verification. A message appears on your screen. "We've sent a security code to your phone." For years, that message has felt reassuring. It feels like a protective barrier between your money and a hacker. But in a SIM swap attack, that barrier disappears instantly because the security code isn't going to your phone anymore. It's going to the attacker. Banks rely heavily on SMS-based two-factor authentication, often called 2FA. The idea behind it is simple. Even if someone knows your password, they still need access to your phone to receive a one-time verification code. In theory, that second layer stops criminals. In practice, SIM swapping breaks it completely. Once a criminal receives your text messages, every security code designed to protect your account becomes a key that unlocks it. Password reset requests send verification links directly to the attacker's device. Login codes arrive in seconds. Alerts meant to warn you are intercepted before you ever see them. Once criminals gain control of a victim's phone number, they begin triggering password resets across multiple accounts. Email is usually the first target. If attackers gain access to a person's primary email account, they gain a powerful advantage: control over the password resets for dozens of other platforms. Picture the chain reaction. First, the attacker resets the victim's email password. The reset link arrives through a text verification code. The attacker receives it instantly. Now they control the email account. Next, they search the inbox for messages from banks, financial apps, and investment platforms. Most email inboxes reveal exactly which financial institutions a person uses. With that information, the attacker moves quickly to reset banking passwords. Every time the bank sends a verification code to confirm the reset, it goes directly to the attacker's SIM card, and the bank's system approves the login because the code is correct. From the bank's perspective, everything appears legitimate. The correct password was entered. The correct verification code was provided. The login request came through the registered phone number. The system sees no criminal, only a verified customer. This is why SIM swapping is so devastating. It doesn't break the system. It abuses the system exactly the way it was designed to work. And by the time victims realize something is wrong, the attacker is already moving deeper into their accounts, unlocking the financial doors that protect their money. And once they gain access, it's time to drain. The 15-minute bank heist: how criminals drain accounts. After a SIM swap, if you think there's no way the situation could get any worse, I have a spaceship to sell to you. Once attackers gain access to your banking or financial accounts, they follow a strategy designed to extract as much money as possible before the victim notices. At this stage of the attack is often called the cash-out phase, and criminals execute it with speed and precision. The first thing they do is check the available balance. Savings accounts, checking accounts, linked credit lines, investment accounts. Anything connected to that login becomes visible in seconds. Then the transfers begin. Most attackers avoid methods that can be reversed easily. Instead, they target instant or near-instant payment systems, the kinds designed for convenience. Peer-to-peer payment platforms like Zelle, wire transfers, and cryptocurrency purchases are among the most common tools used in SIM swap theft. Why? Because once the money moves through these channels, recovery becomes extremely difficult. In many cases, attackers send money to multiple accounts immediately. Yet instead of one large transfer that might trigger suspicion, they break withdrawals into smaller transactions. A few $1,000s here, a few thousand there. Each transfer moves the money farther away from the victim's account, and they do it quickly. Security analysts say the window between account takeover and full financial theft can be shockingly short. According to the Federal Trade Commission, consumers reported losing over $10 billion to fraud in 2023, with bank transfers and payment apps accounting for a large portion of those losses. But numbers alone don't capture the speed of the attack. Criminals know victims will eventually regain access to their phone numbers. They know the window of opportunity is limited. That's why they prioritize speed over subtlety during this stage. But their goal is simple: extract the money before the victim reconnects their phone or alerts the bank. Think of it like a digital smash and grab. The attacker grabs what they can and moves the money through as many financial channels as possible. Sometimes the funds are converted into cryptocurrency within minutes. Other times, they are routed through intermediary accounts known as money mules, individuals recruited online to receive stolen funds and move them again. Each transfer makes the trail harder for investigators to follow. By the time the victim regains control of their phone number and contacts their bank, the money may already be scattered across multiple accounts in different countries. And that's what makes SIM swap fraud so terrifying. There are often no warning pop-ups, no suspicious emails, and no obvious red flags before the theft happens. But here's the part most victims say haunts them afterward. Looking back, there were often subtle warning signs that something was wrong, signals most people dismiss, until it's already too late. The first red flag: the warning signs. Most victims miss. Most SIM swap victims don't realize they're under attack when it starts. They realize it after the money is gone. But here's what cybersecurity investigators consistently find when they analyze these cases. The attack almost always leaves small warning signals before the financial damage occurs. The problem is that those signals rarely look dangerous at the moment. When carriers move a number to a new SIM, the original device disconnects from the network immediately. That sudden loss of service is often the first visible symptom that your number has been taken over. Unfortunately, most people don't recognize the significance of it. Instead, they troubleshoot the phone while the attacker is already inside their accounts. Another warning sign often appears just minutes later: unexpected security alerts. Victims sometimes receive emails saying things like, "Your password was changed," or "A new login was detected." At first glance, these messages may look like spam or system errors. Many people assume they accidentally triggered the alert themselves. By the time the victim realizes what those messages actually mean, the attacker may already have access to multiple accounts. This is why the second your phone disconnects unexpectedly, especially if it stays disconnected for several minutes. The safest assumption is not a network problem. It's that your phone number may no longer be yours. Recognizing that moment quickly can mean the difference between stopping an attack early or discovering it only after the damage is done. As SIM swap attacks continue to rise, cybersecurity experts warn that protecting a phone number now requires active defenses, not just trust in default security settings. The one setting that stops most SIM swap attacks before they begin. What if the attack that stole Jeff's $21,000 could have been stopped by a setting that takes only minutes to activate? One of the most effective protections against SIM swap attacks is a port-out PIN. This is a security code placed directly on your mobile carrier account whenever someone tries to transfer your phone number to a new SIM card, and the carrier requires that PIN before the transfer can happen. Without it, the request should be rejected. Yet millions of people have never enabled this protection. Why? Because most carriers don't activate it automatically. You have to request it yourself, and unless someone has heard about SIM swap attacks before, they often don't realize the feature exists. Setting it up is straightforward, but the exact process varies by carrier. Most companies allow customers to enable it through their account security settings. Others require a quick call to customer support or a visit to a retail store. Once activated, the PIN becomes mandatory for any number transfer or SIM replacement request. Many security experts also recommend adding an in-store verification-only note to the account. And this instruction requires the account holder to show physical identification at a carrier store before any SIM change can be approved, while not every carrier offers this option. When it is available, it creates another powerful barrier against remote impersonation attempts. Many people remain vulnerable simply because they never activate this feature. The reality is simple. If criminals cannot transfer your number, they cannot intercept your verification codes, and without those codes, breaking into your accounts becomes significantly harder. The three-step defense plan that protects your phone number and your money. Imagine receiving that no service message again, but this time the attacker fails. That's what a layered security plan is designed to do. Instead of relying on one defense, it closes multiple doors criminals try to use during SIM swap attacks. Start with your financial accounts, log into your bank's security settings, and enable real-time transaction alerts for withdrawals, transfers, and new device logins. Most major banks allow alerts through both email and app notification, giving you immediate warning if something changes. Next, replace text message verification wherever possible. Services like Google, Microsoft, and many banks allow you to switch to authenticator apps, such as Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. These apps generate security codes on your device without using your phone number. Another powerful protection is a credit freeze. Visit the websites of Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion and activate a freeze on your credit file. This prevents criminals from opening new financial accounts using your identity. According to the Federal Trade Commission, identity theft reports remain one of the most common fraud complaints in the United States, showing how critical preventive measures have become. Because in the fight against SIM swapping, preparation often determines whether criminals succeed or fail. SIM swap attacks can begin with something as simple as a phone suddenly losing signal. While victims assume it's a temporary network problem, criminals may already be receiving every security code tied to that phone number. That's exactly how $21,000 disappeared from Jeff Drummond's bank account before he even realized what was happening. If you've ever experienced a SIM swap attempt, suspicious account takeover, or unexplained loss of phone service, share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else recognize the warning signs before it's too late. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into the scams criminals hope you never understand.